Welcome back, and if you're new here, thanks for stopping by. We are doing a review of the e.l.f. Putty blushes. I picked up 3 shades of these blushes, and according to e.l.f., they're highly pigmented, creamy formula, melts into the skin for a natural glow. So I wanted to put them to the test to see if that's what you actually get. And if you haven't seen my review of the Putty primer, make sure you check that out. I will admit that I wasn't a total fan of it, but I figured I'd still give these a try. And here's a better look at the size of the product. According to e.l.f., this is a lightweight buildable formula. It transforms from a cream to a semi-matte powder finish. So the first shade is Fiji, and here's how it looks in the pan. And I'm just gonna go ahead and rub my finger through it. It is pretty creamy, which is nice, and there is a good amount of pigment on my finger after rubbing it in there. And I'm just gonna swatch it on the bottom of my hand. And this one is okay. It's kind of light. Like, I don't feel like once I, start rubbing it and swatching it, that the color is as there as it is on my finger, but I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it. It's okay. It's okay. Not super impressed, but not disappointed. The next one is Tahiti, and here's how Tahiti looks. This is definitely like a pinky pink. I like this shade of pink for me and my skin tone usually. I don't like to go too light because then it can look kind of ashy. So this is usually the shade I go for. And here's how it looks on my finger compared to Fiji. And let's swatch this one. And this one is like barely there. This one for my skin tone, I could see this maybe for a no makeup look, if I'm not using foundation or anything and I just want a little color there, but I can't see using this with other makeup. I mean, you can barely see that it's there. Okay, so this one is definitely a bust, but for the price, I'm not super mad at it because it's not like I spent a lot of money on it, but I don't see myself grabbing that one often. And the last one here is Caribbean, and this is a nice deep red, and this is typically the shade that I go for basically like every day. This is like my everyday go-to kind of shade, and here's how it looks on the finger. Great pigment on this one. And I'm gonna swatch it right here at the bottom. Ooh, this is pretty. Like this one, this is the best of the bunch for me, this one. Like, I feel like that goes well with my skin tone. The pigment is there. This one, the pigment isn't as much there as I would like, but this one I feel like swatched really, really beautifully on the skin and is a color that I could use pretty much all the time. Let's get to the try on so you can see how I actually use these, in my day-to-day makeup or cream blush in general. I usually use cream blush. I can't say it. I usually use cream blush before I set everything, and then I set my whole face, and then I like to go in with a little extra dusting of powder blush if I'm doing a more glammed up look, or if I'm just doing a more natural look, then I just leave it alone because it gives it like a nice kind of like natural glow when you put it on under your powder. Like, you'll see what I mean. So let's go in. I'm gonna stick with Caribbean since that was my favorite. And I've already applied my foundation and my contour. So I like to put it kind of like right in this area, like kind of into the contour, but not all the way in there and not where I'm highlighting. So it kind of lives in between like the hollow and the high point of my cheekbone. And I'm just tapping this in. I don't want to rub it because I don't want to pick up too much of the foundation. So I'm really just pressing it into my skin. And you can see, like, even with a little bit, like the color's there versus here, the color's there. And it doesn't look greasy or anything. It really does have a really nice finish. Like, you can see with the finish of this, you could use this without foundation or anything and it wouldn't have that like shine to it that some cream products can have. Like you could just plop this on for a little extra color and be on about your merry way. Now I'm gonna go in with a brush. This is the Sigma Complexion Air. I think it's like the angled brush. It might be a blush brush. I think it's just angled, I'm not sure. And I'm just going to soften the edges. I feel like I can't get that effect with my fingers, so I just want to make sure it's blended out a little bit and the edges are nice and soft. Ooh, ooh, I like this. I like this, okay. And I like to get just like a little on the apple of my cheek, not too much, just a little, like we're gonna dance it over there a little bit. All right, now I'm gonna do the other cheek and show you how I set it and the two options you have when you use cream blush under your powder. So I went ahead and did the other side. I also put my concealer on because I forgot that I hadn't done that yet. Now I'm gonna go in with the Cover FX Matte Setting Powder. This is a loose powder and I'm just gonna lightly apply this all over everything. So all over the cheeks, all over my face, all over everywhere. And I like to just tap it in first and then buff it downward. So I'm like sweeping this way. So I'm not going up with the buff, just down. I'm going to show you how this side looks compared to the other side so you can see how this develops. So you can see here, now the blush is like mattified and less, prominent, less prominent than it is here. So that's what I mean, like if you wanted a more like natural, like doesn't look like you put blush there, then put a little powder over top. So this is what we have. Like I said, if I was going for a lighter look, I would just leave it like this. I think it looks fine. But I do like to add a little powder blush when I'm doing a little more glam. So I'm going in with this Berry Spice blush palette. This is Ulta Beauty brand, and I'm going to be using this shade in the middle. So I'm just going back in with that blush brush. I'm picking up a little bit, and then I'm just going to apply it right over top of that cream blush. And you see it just amps it up just a little bit. Like I don't need a lot for it to look good. And that cream blush gives you that base to work with so you can use less of the powder, and I think it looks a little more natural. I'm just gonna dust the apples of my cheeks just a little. So final verdict, of course, this is e.l.f. so the price is great. They're $6, and for $6 you do get a pretty good amount of product. I think that the formula is really, really great. It's nice and creamy whenever it's right out of the pot, and as you blend it onto your skin, it does have that powdery finish that's not too powdery. I also think that they're really, really blendable, which is great. I think that the key here really lies in finding the correct shade. I was least impressed with the shade Tahiti. I just thought that it wasn't pigmented enough for my skin tone. It's a nice color, but I just can't see using it because of the way the pigment showed up on me. I think that Fiji and Caribbean are really, really great. If you like more of an orange toned blush and you're around my complexion, Fiji would be a really great option for you. If you like a traditional red blush like I like, then Caribbean would be a great option for you. So let me know if you've tried these out or if you plan on trying them. I hope that this review and mini sort of try on was helpful for you. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video. I have a new video every single Tuesday and Friday, and hit that notification bell so you can be first to know when there's a new video, and I'll see you next time.